What is up, guys? Welcome to the video. My name is Carver, and today we're going to be talking about going from a small college, a college that is a non-target school, into the Wall Street ecosystem, how I was able to break into finance, and how you can beat the norm, not going to a target school, but still having a fruitful early career. So I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I almost went to Fordham to go to college to long snap. I was actually a pretty damn good long snapper. When you long snap, you don't get to see the field that much. And my headspace was not in the, I want to play football to then go work in finance. My headspace was, my major is football. I want to spend as much time on the field as possible. So I ended up picking a Division III school, which I loved very dearly, South Virginia University. That school was not built for me to get into finance. I had to find and break my own way in. And so this entire video is going to be focused on how do you go from a small school that most people haven't heard of, that isn't a funnel, into Wall Street, and help you figure out how I did it. You could do it too.
No, I'm off. What time?
When I went to college, like I said, I told people I was a football major. Really, my motto was, I'm just here to make friends. The truth is, that's been my motto my whole life. It's just, I'm here to make friends. When I got to college, I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I realized quickly that I really liked the stock market. I really liked learning about companies. I really enjoyed watching CNBC, watching the market news. I didn't know it until I was a sophomore, but that was what I really wanted to do. And so I changed my major, or I added a major rather, basically made a relationship with the head of the business department. They waived my calculus requirement because I took it in high school. And then I took Spanish over the summer to make room for the course credits. And that got me the financial management double major with marketing. What I didn't know is that there was additional coursework I could do to prepare myself to get into the industry. And unfortunately, I didn't take that advantage. I didn't know those resources were there. But the Wall Street prep courses and the breaking into Wall Streets were always there. And they would teach me exactly what I would have needed to know to get to that next level, to break into the industry. And unfortunately, I probably learned that a little too late. So I didn't do everything perfect. I certainly had a lot to learn while I was in college. But one thing I did do really well was build relationships with every single professor and as many alumni as I possibly could. But I'll tell you what, South Virginia alumni base is not what an Ivy League or a mini Ivy like one of the NESCAC schools, so call it Williams, Tufts, Trinity, Wesleyan, any of those schools, much better alumni base in New England. What I did do was attack the South Virginia alumni base and ask them for referrals to people within their network, right? So even if they weren't the person I was inevitably trying to talk to, they led me to the next person. And really, it's just about being candid, being authentic, dropping some bit of information that's going to help them create a connection with you, right? So whether it's personal interest, a personal relationship with somebody, some type of commonality, those things help with allowing somebody to have a reason to actually want to talk to you and help you. And so I did that pretty well. Really what that did was lead me to opportunities to have conversations and actually go shadow people, make reasons to go to New York City. So one of the biggest things I did, and the one thing I would say I actually lied about, was telling people that I was going to be in New York City for 2 days. And I would love to drop in and buy you a coffee. I would love to drop in, come to your office, make it easy on you, whatever's convenient, whatever 20 minutes you have to cut out during the day. I had no reason to be there. They were the reason. They just didn't need to know that. And so I would drop in and I would go have those conversations. I went to as many shops as I could, call it Wells Fargo, Invesco, asset managers across the entire street, big and small. I made sure that I was dropping on them a little message a month in advance, 2 weeks in advance, coming with a booklet of resumes and making sure that I was showing up properly dressed. And I bought a lot of people a lot of coffee, and I didn't get a lot of opportunities through that, but there was just one opportunity that I needed to make sure that I broke into the industry. So I showed up with my resume, and the reason why my resume stood out, and it's candidly because I found things that I was interested in that I was like, oh, that's gotta change. Oh, I gotta try that. I got involved in student politics. I was in student government. I was the vice president of student government. I was also in the student athlete advisory committee. I was the president. And so I started painting my resume with a picture of leadership, with a picture of involvement, a picture of being a self-starter. That's truly what you wanna do when you are in a small pond. You gotta figure out a way to make yourself seem like a big fish. Because when you show up to a job interview and they don't recognize a thing on your resume, it's gonna be really hard to make an impact. So beyond going to get internships, beyond doing the Wall Street prep courses and the breaking into Wall Street courses, doing extracurricular things, you need to find a way to make yourself stand out by making yourself seem very well-rounded, very well-involved, and impactful. And I review a lot of resumes. I mean, you guys can only imagine, I'm the finance guy who's doing social media. So when people find me, they want to take a shot. And trust me, I love it. I love talking to kids in college. But the one thing that pisses me off is when I see a resume that isn't painted full of goddamn color. Give me who you are. Give me your character. Give me your values. Tell me what you like to do. You like to ski? I want to see it. You want to play chess on the weekends? I want to see it. How are you going to be different than the guy next to you? Because everybody's got a GPA and they ain't that different. They only graded on a 4-point scale. How are you going to be different on that 4-point scale? When the GPA matches up, when you're coming from the same school, find a way to quantify it, verbalize it, and paint your resume with a rainbow. As many colors as you can. So a lot of the application process is about matching up the keywords on your resume to what you're actually applying for. And if you don't have any idea or direction of what you want to do in the finance industry, it's all about just learning, watching YouTube videos, talking to people in the industry, trying to figure out what it is that they do and how do they get there, and then finding the track to get there, right? The entry-level position, the internship that's going to get you there. If you are earlier than your sophomore year in college, you have a big advantage on everybody who doesn't start until their junior or senior year, where you have summer internships for sophomores rising into their junior year, and then you have going into your sophomore year a internship program. It's about identifying the programs of the niches within the industry that you want to be a part of based off of the data that you've aggregated from having conversations and looking it up online. If you guys are looking for the information, I'm putting it in Savage in a Suit within the community, and I'm also joining as many people from the industry as possible. So if you're looking for an experience where you want to talk to the top of the line online experts of every part of the industry within business in general, you should join Savage in a Suit. Other than that, y'all have access to ChatGPT. I don't need to tell you anything you don't know. Look it up. Part of applying for jobs in finance, having a good resume, matching the keywords to the application, having a clean cover letter, implanting yourself within the people that are within this firm so that they can make a warm referral. There's also knowing how to goddamn speak. The ability to communicate, the ability to make a connection, the ability to discuss the market. If you can't explain yourself eloquently, you are not going to be able to pass any of the rounds of the interviews. You're probably going to struggle to build a relationship with the person you're talking to. They are playing chess and they know you're playing checkers. So they know that you're way behind. As long as they know that you're doing the research, you are looking up online what is going on, creating relationships, understanding how bonds price versus the yield, understanding what markets have imbalances in their trade. Way more important than anything right now is understanding how is tariffs going to impact the market. Most of us don't know, but being aware that there are tariffs, being aware which countries the tariffs are being applied on, and being aware which countries have an imbalance and which ones do not is going to set you apart. So being aware of current events, there are so many resources, man. CNBC, Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, Seeking Alpha, if you want to get into the weeds of single stock. If you want to learn about the market, you need to do some work. You need to do some reading. You need to watch some videos. You need to be constantly updating and refreshing your brain with the information that's happening on a day-to-day basis. The market's constantly moving. It's the reason why my job is hard. Because I constantly have to be aware, and then I have to be able to communicate to both the most sophisticated of investors and the most layman of people. That's the most fun part about my job, is developing relationships with people and being able to communicate what's going on in the world and create a thesis. Or at least we're making a guess, because we're all taking a guess of what's going to happen next. Nobody has a crystal ball. Neither do you. You don't know what job you're going to land. You don't know where you're going to end up. You have no idea what niche of the industry is going to make the most sense for you. But make a calculated guess. Figure out what type of person you are. Are you a sophisticated investor? Or are you somebody who's just really good at developing relationships? Use that to your advantage once you understand who you are, and then try to go and deepen those relationships. Lean into your weaknesses, make them strengths, and go talk about the market with your friends, with your family, and with people as practice. So that when you get into those rooms, you can command respect. Otherwise, you're going to be walking with your tail between your legs when you leave. Woo. Yeah. We're not going to have small calves for forever. Fine. 12. The fact of the matter is, you don't need to go to a big school if you want to make it into Wall Street, you want to make it into the finance industry. I know plenty of people who went to non-target schools who ended up at mid-tier investment banks, at large hedge funds. It's really about creating differentiation, educating yourself, and finding a way to develop relationships. And I'm one of the fortunate ones. I mean, I was a college football player who honestly broke his heart when he had to take his helmet off and spent the entire spring semester of his senior year absolutely relentless on building relationships with people that were in the largest banks, and every small shop, every big shop I tried to walk into to at least get them to know my name, to remember me. How did they feel about me when I shook their hand? How did they feel about my tenacity, my grit? Maybe I was inexperienced, maybe I came from a small school, maybe I didn't know what I was talking about, but at least I was candid about it. I was honest. I walked in, I said it with a smile, and I tried my best to develop relationships. And I got very fortunate to be at one of the top investment banks in the world. Not in investment banking like I wanted to, but now I have exposure to the investment bank. Now I have the ability to leverage the investment bank. Now I have relationships in the investment bank. I don't need to be in it to be a part of it. And that's one of the coolest things in the world. You don't know what you're going to do for your career. You can take your best guess, you can educate yourself, but the truth is, the world is your oyster. You just have to figure out what is the best path for you. And there's nothing that you can do to try and hypothecate how that's going to really work out. You just have to put your best foot forward and try something. So don't sit there and hesitate. Don't doubt yourself based off where you come from. Figure out how to make the most of what you have. have. Use the tools at your disposal within your toolbox to make the most out of what you got. Guys, if you're coming from a small, non-target school, take it from me. Use me as an example. I was a moron. If there's anybody who can do it, and I did it, you can certainly do it too. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you guys want to be a part of the Savage in a Suit community, we're going to drop the link down below. We are building so goddamn fast. It's amazing. It got me so excited, man. I've been so passionate about this. We've been building this for over a year now. It is growing so fast, man. We are building such an awesome community. Everybody's connecting. Everybody's getting something from it. And we're doing a Savage session every month with somebody from the industry to help you become the Savage you deserve to be. If you guys haven't already, join right now. Come be a Savage with us. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.